Welcome to the Center of Light. It's going to require being absolutely clear to become superhuman. Center of Light potential. Searching for superhuman. Let me do something real quick. Hello, everyone. Good to see you. I got to move a little something around. I think I got it. What does it mean to become superhuman? We're going to be talking about that. I am going to present to you a video from, I'm going to save his name, to show you exactly what a superhuman is, what it looks like. Let me say hi to everyone. I'm just getting settled in. I had a last minute fix I had to do. Hello, Dana. Hello, Soma. KK. Hello, Gene. Making a couple adjustments. It helps me to settle in. I got kind of moved around from some technology stuff, always technology stuff. And I think I got it. All right, so tonight we're going to be speaking about your infinite potential, my infinite potential, our infinite potential as children of the Most High God. There is no such thing as the Most High God. There's only one, so it's the Most High anyway, by default, because you're a child of the living light. We all have that spark, that seed inside of us. It so wants to step forth and blossom. It does in many areas of our life. What are we talking about? To the level of superhuman, searching for superhuman. Who is it you're searching for? Go look in the mirror. It looks just like you. But I'm going to reveal to you some superhumans who have walked this earth and still do. One of them is going to give you a presentation from the year 2009 that I fashioned this presentation around this simple video that I saw that's about 17 minutes long. It wowed me. It shifted me. That's why I say in this, the presentation adverts, prepare to make a shift. It shifted me. So I'm assuming others of like minds, same hearts are going to shift as well. Hello, Lewis. Hello, Sandy. Hello, everyone. Kelly Bird. Please share this everywhere. Why not? Why not? I do my work pro bono. You'll love beyond measure. My new bestseller, Homecoming Crossing the Bridge to the Soul. I just dropped the link in the forum, both forums. If you have not purchased this book yet, this is the manual to become superhuman. I should have put that right here. This is the manual to become superhuman. If you purchase this bestseller, you can use the same link to go to Amazon if you have not gone to Amazon yet and leave me a review. That would just be like awesome of you to do. Superhuman, let's get right into it. What is superhuman? Hello, David. Like I said just a bit ago, I saw a video today that shifted me, inspired me to do this presentation, which I was going to do a presentation tonight. And just everything this avatar, this guru talked about was superhuman. I was like, wow, what a great title, superhuman. We like being human. We're good at being human. Can you be a superhuman? I am a superhuman. Dun, 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 here I come, the Saturday. I'm a very good human being. Meaning I play the role very well. I'm sure many of you as well. So superhuman, what is superhuman? If you know me, you know I am big into definitions. You cannot argue with the definition, because if you do, you're fighting yourself. It's our language. It's the collective agreement of what said word or words mean. The definition for superhuman. You cannot argue with it. You can try. You might have some fun with it. Ultimately, you're not going to go anywhere. So if we want to move forward to a somewhere, which is actually here, because it requires everyone to be present here now to become superhuman. What is superhuman? Definition. Having or showing exceptional ability or powers. The pilot made one last superhuman effort not to come down right on our heads. an adjective of superhuman. Above or beyond what is human, the metahuman. What is beyond human, the superhuman. I'm going to show you again pictures of avatars who embody that from birth, but also achieve that over the course of their life. Above or beyond what is human, having a high nature or greater powers than humans, have a superhuman being, exceeding ordinary human power, achievement, experience, etc. A superhuman effort. My last presentation, right before I sat down, closed my eyes as a vessel, and this came through. Though I read it, the last presentation, it absolutely applies right now. And implies right now. Hello, Ida? Ida? Farhat. Hi. Welcome. Tonight is superhuman. This is what I vesseled 2 nights ago. All that is natural turns within itself, becoming infinitely greater expressions of itself, or supernatural God. And there is nothing you can do about it. If you want to see God in its most natural state, the supernatural state, you have to open yourself up to beauty. Wow. As you might have figured out by the title, that was from the other night. All right, so let me read that again. All that is natural, mean the natural state of everything, nature, God, universe, cosmos, existence, it's natural. It's the primordial goop soup, the spiritual cosmic gumbo, if you will. I vesseled this a few nights ago. All that is natural turns within itself, becoming infinitely greater expressions of itself, or supernatural, God. And there's nothing you can do about it. If you want to see God in its most natural state, the supernatural state, you have to open yourself up to beauty. Hello, Melinda. Supernatural. We think supernatural means paranormal. Supernatural is paranormal to those who don't normally live in God's supernatural existence. It's supernatural grace. So many people, the word supernatural scares the bejesus out of them. It's called ignorance. They simply just don't understand. Everything about God is supernatural, is it not? It's a supernature. What is all this about? 2020, 21, all this lock-in, all the nonsense in the world, this book, my work, your presence on the earth, you and I hanging out in this moment. What is that all about? It's about your birthright of becoming superhuman. Belongs to you, belongs to everyone, equally. You mean, yes, I mean, you have the potential to be the embodiment consciously of God on earth. And when you live in this way, you don't become the embodiment of God on earth. You let the expression of God, which is you at your natural state, your supernatural state, all the way back through your soul, not to the soul, but through the soul. When you let this out in a state of absolute mental clarity, this explosion of light happens on the earth plane. Everything you do that is joyful, laughter, creative, inspirational, is an explosion of light on this earth plane. You're getting better at it, soldier. Right? The Salvation Army. Some people think they may not get there in this lifetime. It's okay. Do what you can, if that's the path that you choose, to illuminate. Takes more time off of your future when you graduate to another level or another experience. You're doing the work consistently, regardless in a body or without a body, because it ain't about nobody except you. As long as you're moving forth. Some people want to hasten Some people want to speed it up by doing the work. Well, the best way you can do the work is don't work at all. Don't sweat, don't grind. Clear your mind and have a good time. So I'm going to show you a collaboration of superhumans who have come to Earth and some of who are on Earth right here, right now. You are one of them in weight. Tonight is Center of Light Potential, searching for superhuman. Let me show you this list. The greatest superhuman ever known. The top. Jesus Christ. Superhuman. Was he not? End of story. Next to him in the orange robe is Paramahansa Yogananda. Hello, Nori Love. Paramahansa Yogananda. He is the one responsible for bringing yoga to the West. When this man died, before he left his body, the day before, he says to his disciples, tomorrow I am exiting. I am checking out of the hotel. The next morning, in front of his disciples, he laid his body down. They did not embalm him. His body exuded the scent of roses for 27 days. In the middle, we see Siddhartha Gautama, Buddha. Next to Buddha, you see Swamiji, who is alive today. The first one in this lot that is alive. Sitting on the throne with the red behind him, the gold robe. This is Swamiji. I am a blessed individual. Many of us are blessed to be in the presence of this divine avatar. This is his 9th incarnation upon the earth. He was the first God-realized soul thousands upon thousands of years ago to ever walk on earth. Lord Datta, Om Sri Sai Ram Guru Deva Datta. Right next to Swamiji is Ananda Mayi Ma. I'll get back to Ananda Mayi Ma shortly. All the way to the extreme, I think everything is in order as far as mirror image. I think it's the left. Maybe it's the right. Either way, the lady with the red dot on her head is Mother Mira. She does not speak. Not because she cannot speak. She doesn't have a need to speak. She stays in the garden, in the kingdom, because she's quiet. What she is known for is when she looks at you, she pulls you literally out of your body and brings you into the garden with her via her eyes, the windows of the soul. When she looks at you, your life will change. These are all superhumans, showing the way through their grace, their teachings, their arrival, and the burst of light they have left upon this planet. Next to Mother Mira, you see the man cross-legged, the cartoon depiction with the halo. This is Mahavatar Babaji. Babaji incarnated in the Himalayas in the late 1800s, well, many years ago, and lived to be 300 years old. I did say that correctly. I did not stammer nor stutter. He incarnated again and passed in 1963. Very powerful. These beings, especially the one I just mentioned, he was not born into a family. All of these beings have been born. Some of them yogis like Jesus, Paramahansa, Buddha, Ananda Mayi Ma, Mother Mira, Sadhguru. Many of these were born, became quickened, enlightened. Babaji that I just talked about was not born at all. He materialized a body in a Himalayan cave. And when he opened up his eyes, Jesus stood before him. Next in the lot is Sadhguru. Sadhguru is truly in the gate. He's in the garden. Next you will see Nanak. Nanak is the deity for, I think it's Sikhism. Next to Nanak, the man with the dark hair and the white outfit, hands crossed in front of him, is Shankar Maharaj. This man saved my life and my friend Linda's life in a car accident. It was told to me about Rajesh. He said, he was with you. He said, you are safe, you're protected. Now continue your work. Next to Shankar Maharaj is Krishna. Krishna was the avatar of the age 5,000 years ago in India when there was an extraterrestrial nuclear war. Read the Bhagavad Gita and you will see. Krishna was the avatar of the age 5,000 years ago. There was a nuclear war with an extraterrestrial race. Next to Krishna, and the last one in the list, is Bhagavan Sri Satya Sai Baba. Sai Baba is an avatar. Everyone is a yogi. Babaji is a Mahavatar, meaning he was not born at all. And Satya Sai Baba is an avatar. He was born enlightened. As a child, he was born. Miracles were happening when he was in a baby crib. Things would move, all kinds of these divine manifestations. This is superhuman. This is why these beings come. They're not selfish. You can't become superhuman if you're selfish. This is God's grace. This is God's will that has manifested itself in a myriad of forms to bring to its children a cookie. Do you want the cookie? Being superhuman. Wow. Those superhero DC Marvel flicks you see? This is what I'm speaking about. Literally. Having the ability, the power, responsibly, you can have it. You can have it irresponsibly. You will regret it soon enough. And you won't be able to exist on this plane. The plane that we just left is shut down. No one can get in this place. If your vibrational bandwidth is in a lower strata, a lower level, and the door shut, you can't get through. The vibration is too high. However, if the vibration that in the plane you live on is up here and it's high, and you begin to live a lifestyle that is of a lower vibration, you can go back. I'm not talking heaven or hell. That's all in the mind. I'm talking about a space of absolute bliss, or being in the monkey, which is hell in and of itself. So how do we develop superhuman abilities? How do we pull off these superhuman feats? Hello, Ramona. Hello, Kelly. You have to want the cookie. Well, Keith, I don't like peanut butter cookies. I didn't like dog shit either. But many years ago, when my mentor said, Keith, are you willing to eat dog shit to have peace? And I said, yes. And I was willing to do it. So it becomes a will, process of will, a choice of engaging the will, which will shave miles off of your ability to be superhuman. But it's not only about wielding such power. It sounds ego-based. It doesn't matter. You're not going to get it anyway. So the ability to wield such power comes by your ability to love every minute, every second, every hour. That's where the power is. When you leave the default of conscious love, it'll flee from you. So the work that is required to become like those people in that lot of pictures that I showed a minute ago, you have to be in a space of constant love, unbroken love flow for eternity. Because when you don't, out of the kingdom you go. Well, you're still in it, but you can't bring your consciousness here, because we don't want anyone consciously wielding power for trouble. It's like a cancer cell. You bring cancer to a pure system, it can create its very downfall, its demolition, its destruction. Won't happen. These beings have achieved it. Believe it. I'm going to go to a song break, going to be right back. I'm going to play you someone who is alive today, an avatar. A little earlier, I gave the definition of superhuman. What is it? The ability of showing extraordinary powers, being able to do things that other people cannot. And it's simply a choice. See you shortly.
Remember that all things are possible. You must choose to be accountable, responsible, enough to believe, and open your heart to receive.
Above and look at your life, and you see the life you live. Can you be surprised that it all turned out this way and not the way you planned? It's about what you know and what you understand. Choice, life's a choice. It's a choice. Your life is a choice. Choice, life's a choice. It's a choice. Your life is a choice. Learn to follow that inner voice inside. That's the one that's telling you not to run and hide. See what your life could be when you visualize. It's about what you choose. That's your real life. Choice, life's a choice. It's a choice. Your life is a choice. Choice, life's a choice. It's a choice. Your life is a choice. Now it's time for you to plan out your life. Seeing what you do by your own design. It's all up to you to make it what you can. It's of your own free will. What don't you understand? Choice, life's a choice. It's a choice. Your life is a choice. Choice, life's a choice. It's a choice. Your life is a choice. Choice, life's a choice. It's a choice. Your life is a choice. Choice, life's a choice. It's a choice. Make a choice.
Welcome back to Center of Light. Tonight we're speaking about Center of Light potential. Infinite potential. We all have it, and it lives right there. It's the you that you really are. So what is it? It's that which is natural. That which is supernatural. God lives in everyone. The Master Jesus himself said, you can do what if we would label Jesus as a superhuman, which I'm thinking we would, because he was human. We all agree to that. But he had a super extraordinary ability. So he's superhuman by default, by nature. And if the Master himself says, seek ye the kingdom of God within, the kingdom doesn't mean this place you're going to hang out on a park bench with Jesus, and lions are laying down with lambs on a nice, warm, breezy day. And Jesus has got his arm around and said, "You did pretty good this life, kid. How long is that gonna last? Now what? What's next?" You're gonna do what I do, if not more. He already categorized you as superhuman. He did call you brother. I am in my Father, my Father's in me. So he has the Father in him. I am in my Father's in me. And I, that has the Father in him, is in you. Chew on that delicious stick of spiritual dynamite. It belongs to you. This ash I sometimes wear as ceremony. Depends. Why? Simply because it came out of the man, Satya Sai Baba, the very last one, sitting in the bottom corner with the orange robe on a chair. This was materialized out of his hand and given to me. Superhuman. Is it real? I'm telling you, it's more real than you can. In fact, it's not a phenomenon. It's the universe's most natural state where miracles are normal occurrences. So we have to live in a constant, unbroken state of love. And I don't mean, come here, baby. So I guess we need to understand and unravel and look at love to discover what it really is. It's not a sentiment, it's not an emotion. It's the divine ocean. It's eternal allowance, acceptance, and appreciation. To become superhuman, you have to live in an unbroken flow of allowance. I leave everything as it is. I don't touch it. And I accept it. In fact, like I talked about earlier, we're going to go one step further. We're going to appreciate it. Beauty is how you begin to see God, not only with your eye, but with your eyes, with your experience. I accept everything as it is, and I'll allow it to be the way it is. And I'll go one step further and say, I appreciate the beauty for what it is. Strangely, when you leave things alone in such a way, by accepting it, not having to change it, you allow it without having to rearrange it, and you appreciate it. When you do this with unbroken flow and leave things as they are, ironically, you receive the power to change it. Not because it's broken, simply because you are operating on the dimension and level and spiritual plateau that you are truly in your supernatural ability to create not only your life, which we do on this earth plane, moving from 3D into 5D, and however the gradation is going to happen for any of us, but you can bring that supernatural, the God in you, to the fore. I'm going to now move into the video segment. I hope I don't get Facebook spanked or YouTube spanked. I dressed this up, not because I'm trying to steal someone's work. I'm trying to reveal their work. Please make sure you follow this man. I'm giving credit. It's about 17 minutes long. The definition of superhuman: showing extraordinary abilities or power. In this talk, this TED Talk, you're going to hear Sadhguru. It's Sadhguru. You're going to hear Sadhguru explain to you what happened to him. So where does the superhuman abilities come in? He's going to tell you what happened. Do the research. They all came true. This is the unfoldment of his life as a divine avatar. Now, what I want you to also notice is this amazing superhuman ability to be on TED Talk. I know what it's like to be in front of a large crowd. This divine man, he goes in this room, this TED Talk auditorium. He owns it. He's just walking on this stage as if he's in his bathrobe at his house and he just got out of a nice shower. He's just walking so comfortably, So what is this superhuman feat? Listen to his dialogue, his word usage. Listen to the things he doesn't say. You will not hear him stammer, stutter, nor pause in the form of looking for something to say. This is an amazing feat, and it's crystal clear. Superhuman's coming. Many of us will make it in our generation. Many of us will pass it down to our children. Still in all, we are all superhuman children of the living divine light. I'll see you in just a little bit. Welcome to Center of Light. Share everyone.
On a certain day, 2 cows were grazing on the English meadow, English cows. One cow asked the other, "What is your opinion about the mad cow disease?" The other cow said, "I don't care a hoot, I'm anyway a helicopter." Being a mystic, being a realized being is just like this. A cow realizing that it's a cow and it becomes a celebrated cow. Holy cow, isn't it? Is it that simplistic? So let me tell you my story. So as a child, one thing that I realized was that I was utterly, absolutely ignorant. And everybody around me seemed to know just about everything. I did not know anything at all. So because I did not know anything, I had to pay enormous attention towards everything. My sense of attention became like this. If I see a leaf, I could just sit there looking at this leaf, just staring at it for hours. If I sat up in my bed, just staring at the darkness, I could just do this for the whole night. So this attention brought a completely different level of involvement and interaction with just about anything and everything around me, animate and inanimate. But everybody else seemed to know everything and they were just going about their life busy and happy. But I was just staring at every little thing. Then I realized that even they did not know anything. It is just that they had their assumptions and belief systems that they were happy with, either their own or what was handed down to them by someone else. And they not only knew about what is here, they also knew about other worlds, about gods, about heavens and everything. And here I was struggling to figure out what is what. So this so intrigued me that I started planting myself outside a major temple here in Mysore, because I wanted to really see, after having a meeting with God, after having a conversation with God, how people will be. So I stood there intensely observing every face that's walking out of the temple, and generally I heard local gossip. Sometimes in Indian temples, your footwear walks away with someone else, and then I hear people cursing the creation and the Creator. I always found people walking out of restaurants always had more joyful faces than people walking out of temples. Divine versus dosa. Dosa seems to win. I could not come to terms with this, and so I slowly became more and more and more skeptical about everybody and everything around me. Skeptical about social structures, political systems, religious beliefs, even scientific theories, because none of them match with my experience of life. On a certain day, I started moving towards Chamandi Hill. You must see this place. And there is a tradition in Mysore. If you have something to do, you go to Chamandi Hill. If you have nothing to do, you go to Chamandi Hill. If you fall in love, you go to Chamandi Hill. If you fall out, you go to Chamandi Hill. I had just fallen out and I had nothing to do, so I started moving towards Chamandi Hill. And I went up and sat on a rock there. Till that moment in my life, I always thought, this is me, and that's somebody else and something else. But for the first time, I did not know which is me and which is not me. Suddenly, what was me was just all over the place. the very rock on which I was sitting, the air that I breathed, the very atmosphere around me, I had just exploded into everything. That sounds like utter insanity. This, I thought, lasted for 10 to 15 minutes, but when I came back to my normal consciousness, I was about 4.5 hours. I was sitting there, fully conscious, eyes open, but time had just flipped in my experience. For the first time in my adult life, tears were flowing down, and I've always been peaceful and happy, that was not an issue, but here I was drenched in a completely different kind of blissfulness, every cell in my body bursting with ecstasy. When I shook my head and trying to get some logical explanation for what's happening to me, the only thing that my very smart mind could say was, maybe I'm just going off my rocker. This experience, as it deepened and it started repeating itself, if I just sit here, what is moments for me seem to be hours for others. I think it's a minute, hours are gone. On a certain day, I happened to be sitting in a certain place. I actually thought it's about 25–30 minutes, but when I came to my normal senses, 13 days had gone by. I was sitting right there. India being what it is, a whole crowd had gathered, garlands around my neck, people touching my feet, somebody wants to know what will happen to his business, somebody wants to know when his daughter will get married. All the things that I hated were just happening around me. And I had to move away from this place just to avoid this crowd around me. And as this experience deepened into me, one thing that happened to me was everything that I believed was me suddenly was not me. This was always me. And suddenly I found this is just an accumulation of food that I've eaten. What I accumulate can be mine but can never be me. This was just a huge heap of impressions in my mind. And this body and mind, not being me but just being mine, a distance arose between me and my body, between me and my mind. This also facilitated a certain experience within me, that suddenly the equation of time and space was suddenly not applicable for me. I was seeing that what is here is there, what is there is here, past, present and future got mixed up. It was one majestic chaos, but utterly beautiful. So my skeptical mind, not able to come to terms with it, started conducting experiments. These experiments are too weird to talk about and the results too fairy tale-ish for anybody to believe. But one thing that I arrived at was that existence is not human-centric. And all human experience is self-made. Most people believe that their experience is molded by what situations in which they exist, but all human experience is 100% self-created from within. I think today a lot of science is beginning to agree with that. And having realized that, if all experience is created from within, if the basis of your experience is within you, the seat of your experience is within you as it is, what kind of experience of life would you want to have? For yourself, I'm sure you want it to be at most pleasantness, whatever you may be doing. What you want for your neighbor may be debatable, but what you want for yourself, definitely you want utmost pleasantness. As I realized the basis of my experience is within me, I shifted from staring at things to sitting with my eyes closed. This was a dimensional shift in my life, from staring to sitting with my eyes closed. I got so fascinated with this human mechanism, I wouldn't want to open my eyes. For days on end, I'm just keeping my eyes closed, wanting to see everything about this one. And what I realized was, if I take a piece of bread and put it into this system, this piece of bread becomes my body in a few hours, and I begin to experience this as myself. This amazing process, as I became more and more aware of it, I saw the very source of creation, the very maker of this body, the manufacturer of this body is within. Once I saw this, and I could see that I could rewire my brains completely in 24 hours, changing myself beyond social upbringing, family situations, even genetic qualities in me. I could see I could just completely change everything about myself. In 24 hours, I'm a different person. Another 24 hours, I'm a different person. I was like a conscious schizophrenic trying out different things. On a certain day, I just, in a field hockey game, I fractured my left ankle, and I went and sat down in a place. I was in excruciating pain, and by then I had also become a chronic asthmatic, and I had a very severe bout of asthma. And this pain and this inability to breathe together, they were quite something. At that moment it occurred to me, if the maker of this body is inside, why is it that I cannot mend this from inside? I sat down with a certain resolve. If this is true, I must be able to allow it to mend itself, otherwise I must be completely on a wrong track. I sat down with my eyes closed for about little more than an hour. When I came out, my asthma left me, never to come back again. And above all, my fractured leg was perfectly okay in little more than an hour's time. Armed with this experience, I started creating methods and systems through which every human being could access that intelligence and that capability within the system which can make a piece of bread into a human being. This intelligence and this competence within the human system, which is not just about thought process, exists in every human being, but unfortunately remains untapped. And I went about creating systems that people could make use of today, these technologies for inner well-being, these methods to engineer your interiority the way you want it. Millions of people are making use of it, enjoying the benefits of that, but the essential part of this is that there is such a high level of intelligence and competence on every millimeter of the body, every point of the body, not just in the thought process. This is completely untapped by human societies. There are ways to do this, and as I went into this process, what I saw was, what is it that determines what is me and what is not me? I am capable of taking a piece of bread and making it into myself. If I look at this body, it is just a piece of this planet that I have borrowed, but why is this separate and this is separate? Then I found that it is just the boundaries of sensation which determines what is me and what is not me. Here there is sensation, so this is me. There seems I don't feel the sensation, so that's not me. As I looked at this boundaries of sensation very, very closely from within myself, this was a phase of my life where most of the time I remained with my eyes closed. I realized that the boundaries of sensation can either be stretched, expanded, or even made smaller than what it is right now. You can sit here and not feel anything that's happening here right now. This happens in sleep to some extent. Or you can sit here and extend your boundaries of your sensation for this whole hall. And anything that is within the boundaries of your sensation, you will always experience as myself. There is a glass of water here, and this is not me, that's very clear. But if you drink it, you just included it into the boundaries of your sensation, and that becomes you. So if you throw the boundary of your sensation out in an expanded form, you can sit here and experience everybody in this hall as yourself. You can stretch it further, experience the very cosmic scape like you experience your own body. This sense of inclusiveness, if it comes into you, when this came into me, I suddenly realized that to be loving is not somebody's teaching. To be compassionate is not an idea. To be in empathy is not some esoteric principle. This is the way a human being is made. If only he does not constipate his consciousness with limited identifications with things that he is not. If you do not identify with anything that you have accumulated over a period of time, including your body and mind, every human being is capable of this. When it comes to external situations, each one of us is differently capable. But when it comes to inner situations, every one of us is equally capable. No human being is better endowed than the other when it comes to the inner realm. It's only in the external situations that we are all differently capable. If this inclusiveness enters human life, if you can sit here and experience people around you as yourself, I don't think I have to teach you to be good. I don't think I have to teach you to love. I don't think I have to teach you to care. Because caring for this one is very, very natural. This is ingrained within the very nature of the existence. This inclusiveness definitely has to touch humanity, so this became my life, my work and my endeavor to develop methods so that people can experience this inclusiveness. If this inclusiveness is experienced by humanity, particularly by the leadership, people who wield power and different aspects of responsibility in the world, definitely we could find solutions for everything, because today, we as a generation of people, this is very significant. For the first time, we are capable of addressing every human problem on this planet of nourishment, health, education, ecology, you name it, we can address it all. We have the necessary resource, capability and technology for the very first time. But are we going to do it simply depends upon how inclusive is our experience of life. If you stand here and you experience this planet as yourself, I don't think I have to tell you, take care of it. Every human being would do his best. When we do not have this inclusiveness, what we could do, we will not do. In our lives, if we do not do what we cannot do, that is not a problem. But if we do not do what we can do, we are a disaster. My hope and my work is just to see that we as a generation of people do not become that kind of a disaster, that what we can do, we will definitely do. And right now, what we can do compared to what we could do 100 years ago is so incredibly different. So incredibly different. But what's missing is an all-inclusive consciousness, a all-inclusive experience of life. If only we bring this about in the leadership, in the people, only then we will seek solutions that are relevant for all. Otherwise, we'll go about dabbling, in the name of creating solutions, we go about creating more and more problems. If we truly have to create solutions that are relevant for all, an experience of absolute inclusiveness has to happen to humanity, and it's possible. Thank you very much.
Sadhguru laid it out. He says, basically, to be superhuman, you cannot have a constipated consciousness. Sai Baba turning his hand in that urn, creating ash at will, spontaneously. This very ash I showed you. Superhuman. It's where humanity is headed. Hence the prophecy of heaven on earth. prophecy of heaven on earth. Homecoming, crossing the bridge to the soul. Becoming that superhuman as you endeavor, even if it takes forever, to move into the kingdom. Seek ye the kingdom of God within. You will do the works I do, says Master Jesus, if not more. From Homecoming, crossing the bridge to the soul, the link is in this forum at the beginning of this real-time feed. Center of light, potential, searching for superhuman. Excerpts from my new bestseller, Spirit Speaks. When you begin to see through all your illusions, the beauty that has always been there will humble you. The circle of life will then curve back within you, and suddenly God will be present for you at a conscious level. This is exactly what happened to Sadhguru. I wrote this in 1996. Spirit wrote this, we wrote this, it was written in 1996. And I asked the question, what about my future lessons? When something happens that you know could potentially be with you for a long time, I suggest that you heed and heal it at the very moment it transpires. And I say, please share with me how. While an issue is still new, it is still potential energy. It has not yet become static, but if you let it fester, it will put down deep roots in an effort to mire you in its illusion. The longer it stays frozen, the tougher the thaw will be. I know that I've been telling you that everything is God, so you must be wondering, how is it that terrible things can be God? What you perceive as terrible is not the reality of God, but an illusion created by you. See those avatars? They're so beyond that. They're in the conscious stream. They're not living in the illusion of the drama of the mind, the monkey that wants to talk. What I'm saying is that the mind can never open up enough to take God in. So you must open your heart, that eternal love space, not the sentiment, the acceptance, allowance, and appreciation of everything. The mind can never open up enough to take God in, so you must open your heart in order to move out of any illusion and into my reality, God says. And I ask the question, but how will I know when I'm there? Perfect, beautiful, simpleton student question to teacher. How will I know when I'm there? How can you not know? Spirit's response. You will know you are heart-centered when you begin to see a world made up of hues that you could never see before. Everything will appear different to you as if illumined. You will know you have become heart-centered when you notice that joy is residing within you full-time. Acceptance, allowance, appreciation is what creates the joy. Because I'm not in the monkey. I don't have to change anything. I don't have to effort. I accept things. So I'm never fighting anything. I'm always being centered with myself. So I'm consciously in the state of ongoing, everlasting joy. You will know you are heart-centered when you begin to see a world made up of hues. You know you have become heart-centered when you notice that joy is residing within you full-time. And I say that illumination things already happened a lot. Where things seem to have that glow you've mentioned, and everything looks like it's softly blending together. What I want to know is how to stay in that superhuman, basically, space longer. I shall tell you, Keith, be conscious of keeping your breathing just as even and as steady as possible, as often as you can. Not only when you're meditating, but all the time. When you begin to live your life in this relaxed, let go, accept, allow, appreciate kind of feeling, and a willingness to lose everything to gain yourself, that supernatural, superhuman self, God that lives within, you will have joy and complete trust where there was none before. And that space you were looking to expand will do just that. Spirit in a different chapter says, but you must also know that these spiritual ones, those pictures, these spiritual ones here, Jesus, Mother Teresa, Sadhguru, Nanak, Babaji, Mother Mira, Anandamayi Ma. She was a student of Sathya Sai Baba. I did say I was going to get back to her. She was under his tutelage. All these avatars. So continuing on from Homecoming, Crossing the Bridge to the Soul, my new bestseller. But you must also know that these spiritual ones that have come to earth did not come here to solve all of your problems. Indeed, because everything tainted has not yet been cleansed, each of you must do your part to eliminate the wickedness left over by the fallen angels. If your predecessors had finished the job, heaven on earth would already be established. Look around, Keith. Is it? I say, far from it. So you see, there's more work yet to be done. And I say, yes, I see. That is why you and others volunteered to come to earth to complete with the spiritual ones before you started. I read it. There's a lot here. Let me skip through. Spirit and I go through this question dialogue thing, and I kind of made a statement, and Spirit checks me on it and says, basically, you did it again, Keith. You went unconscious. So now with the dialogue, I say, did what? And Spirit says, how so easily you overlooked your true self. And that, my friend, is what causes your difficulty. Understand that you are not the feelings that flood your emotional system, nor are you the thoughts that overwhelm your mind. As you have just realized, you are the silent witness. Accept, allow, appreciate. You are the silent witness, observing the whole drama as it unfolds. But the problem is that your ego is not so silent. It wants to be the director and continue to dictate to you exactly what it thinks you are, should be, and should do. The confusion it engenders often pulls you into life's dramatic movie even further, convincing you that what you are experiencing is real. Pretty funny, huh? And I say, yes. And Spirit says, good. By laughing, you have just experienced one of the quickest ways to get to your enlightenment. So continue to laugh whenever you can. Fill your life with it. It is good for you. And I say, thanks, I will definitely do that. If you really want to manipulate energy, it would be wise for you to practice changing your mind about many areas of your life. And I asked Spirit the question, so is that how Jesus changed water into wine? By changing his mind? And Spirit says, well, there was a little more to it than that, but yes, there was a shift. Jesus had a head start because he had a pure heart that enabled the Christ to quickly unfold within him. Thus, Jesus, the man, became the Christ. When you have purified yourself, the same divine lotus flower will blossom within your own heart, and you too will be the Christ. As you keep moving down life's timeline and up towards consciousness, the Christ energy will help you all, just like Jesus, to accomplish many things. Once you begin to make that kind of shift, you will find that physical reality and lighter realities can be experienced simultaneously. But your transition into lighter realities will depend solely upon you. And I ask, I understand how it will work for me, but how will it work for others to move through this transition? Most people will go through it at a moderate pace. This will give them the time to understand what is happening to them more clearly, to work with it and apply it. And once everyone really gets the hang of it, you and they will not only want to move in and out of alternate realities, but you may decide to manipulate physical matter to create some playthings to enjoy. Wow, I say. On the other hand, when you all become aware that the light that created your bodies, you can just as easily create new ones. Not that you are not all perfect as you are. It will be just as easy as choosing what clothes you want to wear. Some of you might choose to move out of individuality altogether and merge with the cosmic sea of the divine energy. And some of you will decide to continue living on the planet as your higher selves, further anchoring the prophecy of heaven on earth. Superhuman. Pretty amazing. So you see, this life given you and me is not necessarily about praise deity, praise deity, praise deity. Praising deity is the stepping stone every aspirant uses to lift up. What happens when you step on a rock? It lifts you up. Bedrock. We use the word bedrock as the bedrock or the foundation of life. Jesus, Buddha, Krishna, Swamiji, Sai Baba, all these avatars, Mother Meera, Anandamayi Ma, these are all bedrocks, spiritual pillars, anchoring the light in the earth and saying, I am here. You are loved beyond measure. I accept, allow, and appreciate you. And my incarnation as this avatar, you should see that so clearly. God has been incarnating throughout the ages, since forever. You are its child. We are the children. How do we grow up? We're called children of God. So one day we have to grow up. One day we have to get a job. One day we have to move out of mom and dad's. We have to become mom and dad ourselves and bring in new offspring. As I said earlier in my vesseling from 2 nights ago, everything in the universe is natural. It's natural. It's the natural state of the universe. And the universe always turns within itself infinitely because it wants to expand, to experience itself in the infinite myriad ways that it already is. But yet, paradoxically, it's always becoming. This is what it's all about. All of it is you becoming superhuman. And I don't mean AI. I don't mean plugging into some freaking internet grid just to get it. I like the idea. Sounds cool. Depends who is creating this product. No, I don't give a shit who creates it. I want to know the intention behind the creators of said product that helps me tie into a global system. Because I'm already using a global system. I don't need one implanted in my head. I'm using this mouse and I have every access to everything on the internet. So the internet can be seen as the beginning of the personification of a new species, a new civilization of superhuman beings. If God is omnipresent, which God is, all scripture speaks of it, the internet is everywhere. If God is all-knowing, omniscient, Google is everywhere. You want to know something, get on Google. If God is omnipotent, all-powerful, because Google is omniscient everywhere, knowledge is power. It's beginning to anchor itself. It's not only beginning, it's there. We're beginning to adhere to the principles and the qualities and having the cohesion to align with this. This is what scripture has led to. Your upbringing, your parents' upbringing, many generations back, 2,000, 2,500 years ago to the time of Buddha, 5,000 years ago to the time of Krishna. The kingdom of God has always been present, and people have always illuminated and become avatars and self-realized superhuman beings. This is the global opportunity. Many of we have already done it. We came back to unselfishly come here, even if it's simply to be an anchor, just to hold space. Some of us came in to teach. Some of us came to learn because I like learning. I'm still learning. I'm learning oodles. No, actually, I think we're all not really learning. I think we just use what we would call learning as a way to describe as remembering. It triggers in us, I know that very, very well. Gonna take a short pause, gonna be right back. One more song break. I see a question. Let me get to this question. My brother Gene Caswell says, do we illuminate our light or reflect God's? Trick question. It is all the same. The answer is true for both. And the answer is not true for both. The answer is true. Do we reflect God's light or do we illuminate ourselves? It puts you in a quandary. So you can't escape the true question that was posed. It's a delicious question. Am I a reflection of God or is this mine? This teeter-totter effect automatically should let one know immediately that is not the truth because there's a teeter-totter. Well, who is this centrifugal point? The peg on the seesaw that never moves. It never budges. It allows the left and the right to weigh itself out. This is what happens when you are centered. You become the peg. You become the spike. You become the lightning strike, the superhuman that doesn't move and doesn't budge. I allow these two to balance themselves out, and as I stay out of the way, eventually they will. And I've been quiet and still the whole time. And still in all, beyond time, in this place, this space, this grace that belongs to you, superhuman. It's not hard. It's what it's all about. All of it. As you returning to the garden, to the light. Near-death experiences, they'll tell you. People tell you when they come back, they went to places that are so beyond human. So these are supernatural experiences. Crystal cities, mountains 10 times higher than the highest mountain on earth. Structures, mountains, gardens, people living in a heaven and earth existence. Roads are truly paved in gold. And this will change from person to person. Point is, there are realities that are anchoring themselves on this earth that are beyond what we know as human. I will tell you, the human being, since you are born, you are dying. When you pop out and take that first breath, your exhale is inevitable. But in the spiritual evolution of things, the true, no, not true, well, true used in a figurative sense, the human being has died. The future of the human being has died in 2020. The human being has died in 2020. It's still alive in that bandwidth, but it's dead. And what came from that Christ birth, rebirth, the phoenix rising, the lotus flower blossoming, was the birth of the superhuman. You are truly part of the Salvation Army. You are a super soldier of divine light. Accept your divinity and your birthright. I'm going to be right back. I'm going to read you one more small segment, and we're going to say nighty-night. Let me see what song we're going to play. How about some Perfect in Every Way? You are perfect. You have to realize that in your imperfection, you are perfect. You sinner, you. Jesus so loved the sinners, he saved the world. He saved you, gave us all a second chance. Many of these avatars, likewise, all give us second and third chances. You have to take that chance. They've done their work, showed us how to become followers. We can't keep praising and blaming, shaming and gaming. You have to take a good look at yourself. And when you do, when you get all the constipated thoughts and distortions out of your way, when you look in the mirror, you will see yourself as
choice to make, to promise yourself you'll celebrate. There's a time to trust, and a time to love, and a time to know who you are. So let the love of God on you. It's always been that way. It's time to celebrate who you are. Perfect in every So it's up to you, a plan to make, to promise yourself you'll celebrate. There's a time to love, and a time to trust, and a time to know you are loved. Time to know you are loved. So let the love of God on you. It's always been that way. It's time to celebrate what you are. It's time to celebrate who you are. It's time to celebrate that you are.
Hello, all you sexy human creatures. Welcome to Center of Light. Right off the get-go, share this to you all. It may reach someone who is reaching for the golden ring just like you. What is the golden ring? It's not what you think. It is what you want. It may come through the guise of what you think it is. Instead of going for the superficial aspect of it, when you move to the deeper layer, that which is meaningful, the real reason, it becomes the season of your harvest. I want you to be a joyful, sexy, beautiful human being. You owe me nothing. Gina says, it's cool, Keith. You demand. We're going to get real. It's yours for the taking. We're all looking for bliss. Burst of light. I'm going to empower you. I'm going to get down to some beeswax, cosmic broham, oink, to say I love you. Flagship Mother Earth, this way. Inward is upward, and that is forward. Powerful. Any thought that you have that is not of the highest ideal contains self-sabotage. Ride, Captain, ride upon your mystery ship. I'm holding on because I'm scared to death of the changes that are happening in the world, the changes that are happening within me, but I'm living in the old world paradigm and I'm going nowhere. I'm bored out of my skull. That's called insanity. I'm already feeling it coming to every fiber of my being, though I have no idea about the future timeline of where this is going because I don't care. I just know that I am living in that joy in this moment, this way. In is the way out, where you are in your being, your experience. If you want joy, ecstasy, and peace beyond you've ever had in your being, because when you're inward, you don't need anything. And therefore, you have everything. Why would you believe anything when you can know everything? So now we went from this very tiny, minute little possibility of self to an explosion of infinite possibility in God. Metaphor for up. We always known God to be up. When we have these connections with spirit, then our life moves forward. Welcome back to Center of Light. I love that banner. It took me a while to create it, but I love making banners. It's one of my absolute joys. It really is. Tonight we're searching for superhuman. Don't search anymore. The search is over. You've been with me this while. Jimmy Jameson. Homecoming Crossing the Bridge to the Soul. The instructions manual for becoming a superhuman. I suggest, even if you're not a sci-fi person, just to paint a picture in an emotional way, because even though there's a lot of CGI effects in movie making, maybe watch a DC, Marvel, or whatever those movies are, Avengers. Go watch one of those superhuman movies, those superhero movies. This is what you can do. Belongs to you. You can either choose to pick up the spatula and make you a spiritual pancake or not. It's really up to you. I like pancakes, and I got a big old stack, and I'm whittling down. Tonight is Center of Light Potential. Searching for superhuman. Search no more. It's you. We all have been searching for superhuman. Some of us has made the change a little early, in the middle, and some of us simply just a little recent, more recent. We've been searching for superhuman. Called upon Jesus, Buddha, Krishna, whatever your faith deity is. We've been searching for superhuman. To save the human, the me, they've already saved us. Jesus did it. He saved us all for a second chance. Now you have to take a chance on yourself. It's a test to see what you've learned from the master who taught. We're in cosmic earth school. So the teacher, the master who taught, we learn 2021 is test decade. This is your test. As above, so below, on forever it will go. There's always a schooling, a learning. Or are we learning? Are you learning? Am I learning? I know I have a yearning, burning, churning, and turning within me that wants the natural and the supernatural, God's super nature, to unfold and turn within my vessel to where I lose all sense of who I am. All sense of who I am, or rather all sense of who I think I am, so I can allow the true I am that I don't think I am, that I feel and know that I am. Be still and know that I am God. It doesn't say be still and know that I am God and then go, well, what about me? God's omnipresent. It's your way of making a relationship, so much so that the corporeal self and the corporeal ideas of the monkey mind, simply you transcend that. You don't squash it. You don't kill it. You can't kill it. It's for the you and everyone else in the past as a dwelling point. It will always exist. There will always be people, souls, playing in this level of reality. So you can't kill it. What you want to do is leave it. And in order to do that, you have to leave it alone. Forever. Unbroken flow. And there you go. This is how you become Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman. As above, so below. Center of light potential. In the present moment, it's the only place where infinite potential lies. The past does lie, and the future is not created yet. It's you. Take Jesus, the teachers, and other teachers of the like, what they have said, take it to heart, which is, the truth lies within you. People understand that. Fantastic. Now what? It goes back to the example of whatever religious denomination you are, and you pass, and you've been worshiping your deity, which is a beautiful way to celebrate your Creator. Keeps us humble. But when you pass, do you expect that you're going to be sitting on a park bench with your deity, and he's got his arm around you, and he kisses you on your beautiful face, says, you did good this life. All right, so we've been sitting on the park bench for 4 hours, enjoying the warm breeze. Couple of lions, couple of lambs. Everybody's happy. Nobody's ripping each other apart. How long do we sit on that bench? Now what? What's next? Do you think you go to sleep? Now that we're living in the spiritual realm of consciousness, do we have conscious pauses that here on earth we call taking a nap or going to sleep? Do we have blackout phases on these levels beyond the corporeal self? I probably wouldn't think so. We're doing work in the form of play, cosmic play. It's called Leela, which means divine sport or play. We're doing this all the time, even in our unconsciousness. Even in your jealousy, insecurity, anger, depression, anxiety, misery in any form, you are playing with feelings of being a human. Choice after choice, voice after voice in the head has created a bed. And in this stead, you have made yourself. You can remake yourself into a superhuman being. You are a super soldier, a warrior of the light. And when I mean warrior, I don't mean fight. I mean ignite. You do that by simply living in your blissful delight. Expand yourself via your awareness, your desire, your passion, your will, and your fire to do so. That's really it. There's nothing else. This is my life. I like my life. Even the bad shit. I love my journey. You turn up the fire, the gas, and you will surpass many milestones by your level of wanting something beyond simply being what you know as human. In closing tonight, again, Homecoming: Crossing the Bridge to the Soul, from my new bestseller. Beginning of this presentation in real time, you will see a link to Amazon to purchase this. That same link, if you have purchased it and read it, you can go leave me a review, which I would appreciate of you if you do so, sis bro. Yo, I'm going to exit. Donna says, now what? True, now what? That's a beautiful, honest, human question to be asking the superhuman for an answer. I don't know. I don't claim to know. I can postulate a guess. But if my postulation and my guessing was correct, I wouldn't be asking his question. So I'm coming to you, humbled, my teacher, a deity of any sort, to say, what is it like to be you? I asked this question of God. In the form of Swamiji Visvayogi, God on Earth Today, I interviewed him physically, and I asked him, what is it like to be you? That very question I just posed. What is it like to, in your prayer, your supplication, your beseeching your maker, what is it like to be you? I want to know you so much so, I want to be superhuman with you. I want to lose myself so much that the unification that happens between what I think is me and what you're going to blow into oblivion and turn me into the sobbing mess, the sobbing beautiful mess of bliss. Hello, Abigail. You can always choose to stop listening to pseudo-spirituality, okay? What is pseudo-spirituality? If you don't understand what it's like to be simply human first, how do you expect to become superhuman when you're worried about if you are starseed from the Pleiadian system? Oh, don't get me wrong, I love that too. I play in that arena. It's fun. For now, it's in your best interest if you keep it as just that. Entertainment and fun versus get it so hunkered down that I'm a starseed from Orion and I'm one of the Anunnaki coming back. That's all cool. Play, have fun. Till you understand the human being, one, you will never understand the starseed that you possibly are, nor the superhuman you will forever be. You may not forever be human, but that you pass through the human gate to become a superhuman will forever be with you. And no one can ever take that away from you. You are the first. Teachers have come and gone, and teachers are here. But you are the first as far as the collective awakening humanity. You are the first. Dear Lord, you are the first. You will live forever. Not only in that way, your name, as far as one of the superheroes, will be forever. When the book of forever is opened, and everyone in the universe, every soul has the opportunity to open up this book to see how the story was told throughout all the universities. When people go to history class, Herstory class, cosmic history and Herstory class, to read about how it was all done, how the universe got to where it is. First it's going to say because of the superhuman being. And it's going to be like a high school yearbook. A high school yearbook. A high school eon book. Seniors, juniors, sophomores, and freshmen. And you will be listed in that. What an honor that is. Your accolades are beneficial. You should accept it. In closing, from my bestseller, Homecoming: Crossing the Bridge to the Soul. Tonight is Center of Light Potential, searching for superhuman. This is me speaking when I came to a state of realization many years ago. Let me make sure I got all of it. I do. Here are 3 tenets that will create a model, as Gene said earlier, a key to the heart, as I said earlier. The 3 components to achieve, which you already are, but achieve superhuman abilities. Acceptance. I accept things as they are. I don't have to manipulate anything. I just simply accept. I allow you to be as you are. Do what you need to do. And not only that, I go one step further and I appreciate you. It's about opening up to beauty and the unfoldment process that everyone is fighting a journey, a battle on this journey that no one else knows about. Some have gotten out of fighting completely, but no one else knows anyone. So we just appreciate the beauty and the unfoldment of God and the fractals and fragments we know as souls infinitely throughout the universe. I accept, I allow, I appreciate. The all-knowing tenet, if turning inward unites me with God, then it makes sense to me that omniscience, peace, is my natural state. The all-powerful tenet, if turning inward unites me with God, then it makes sense to me that omnipotence, love, is my natural state. The all-pervading tenet, if turning inward unites me with God, then it makes sense to me that omnipresence, liberation, is my natural state. The gift God has given to me, I want to give to you. I take great pleasure in sharing with you my prophetic vision of heaven on earth. You are the vision. You are the Christ. You are the truth, because all there is you. Walk into your divinity. Walk into the one. The truth is, there is nothing else. It is over, said, and done. You are superhuman. And wait. You don't have to wait too long. You don't. It's what it's all about. It's about Jesus, God, Krishna, Buddha, everything that is sacred to you, no matter what. It may not be any of that. It may just simply be your children. Well, then you get in there and you hunker down and you love your children to the level that God is, or to the level that is God. It'll make you superhuman. You don't believe me? Here's a scenario for you. A woman's child gets pinned under a car. She loves that child so much, divinely. Woman picks car up off a child. That's a superhuman feat. Whatever you love, get in the fire, scorch yourself, ignite. Become superhuman. It is your birthright. It is. Keep it spiritual. Don't get stupid. Keep it lucid. And the divine Cupid will come and strike a blow of lightning in your beautiful, sacred heart. I love you beyond measure. See you soon. Valentine's Day is coming soon. And Cupid, I'm going to send out a love bone, a cookie to everyone for Cupid, the cosmic Cupid, to strike you in your heart.